You've probably seen Cascade Crash in Modern at your local F&M and LGS, but have you ever seen it in a budget deck? Well, I kinda made it work, kinda not, with a few twists, but stay tuned to check it out. You might have seen Shardless Agent in your Cascade Crash Modern deck, but mine has kind of a twist to it. So you still use Shardless Agent and Crashing Foothills to cast Shardless Agent to Cascade into Crashing Foothills, casting it for free, but I decided on another approach as well. Something that I actually didn't know was budget is the Narset Days Undoing wheel lock. So Narset stops each opponent to draw more than one card for their turn, and Days Undoing is a 3-mana wheel that has each player shuffle their hand and graveyard into the library, then draw 7 cards. And then you also have Gaia Reach Sanitarium, which for 2 mana you can tap to have each player draw a card, then discard a card. So if your opponent draws a card for turn with Narset on the battlefield, if you activate Gaia Reach Sanitarium, they draw a card and discard a card. But if they have already drawn a card, they just discard a card. So you're also probably wondering what I added to the deck as like actual cards that you can't cascade into. And there were quite a few that was really helpful. Incubation, you look at the top 5 cards, you may put a creature, you reveal them, you put a creature card from among them into your hand. This helps you get Shardless Agent very quickly. Incongruity, you exile a creature for 3 mana. Repudiate, you counter target activated ability or triggered ability. This counters a lot of the elementals, well, a lot of the evoke cards. You can also create a copy of a target creature. Discovery, you can surveil 2 and then draw a card. And then with Flower Flourish, you can look for a basic forest or plains. And then something I also added to the deck was Ertai Scorn, which costs 1 blue less if opponent casts 2 or more spells this turn to be able to counter target spell. Because they're no longer standard legal, Bark Channel Pathway is budget, so I included them in the deck. I included 2 copies of actually I think more copies of Evolving Wilds, just to help you color fix, and we run basic forests and islands otherwise. Added to the sideboard is Mystical Dispute. It costs 2 less if you counter blue spell, otherwise it counters any spell unless the controller pays 3. And then I also added Sinister Sabotage, which is a 3 mana instant that counters target spell, but you can also surveil 1. You look at the top card of your library, you may put that card into your graveyard. Not being able to play cards with converted mana cost 2 and lower, I actually had to think outside the box with the sideboard. So I decided to run copies of all the traps. First with the Thargi trap, which if 3 or more creatures are attacking, you may pay 1 rather than pay the Thargi trap's mana cost, and attacking creatures get -3, -0. Just to slow down aggro a little bit, I added Permafrost trap, which if an opponent had a green creature enter the battlefield under his or her turn, you may pay 1 rather than pay Permafrost trap's mana cost to tap up to 2 target creatures. This is also good against like other Cascade decks. I also added Ravenous Trap, which if an opponent had 3 or more cards put into the graveyard from anywhere this turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay the spell's mana cost, and then you exile all target player's graveyard. So this helps against dredge or just in general graveyard based decks. Then we also have Whiplash Trap, which basically says if an opponent had 2 or more creatures enter the battlefield under their control this turn, you may pay 1 rather than pay the spell's mana cost, and you can bounce 2 target creatures to their owner's hand. If you like this video, support the channel by subscribing or at least liking the video. I'm going to make more content like this, maybe keep the decks short and sweet to get to the point. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.